What?
Good evening and welcome to Ghana Shot. Welcome to Ghana Shot, and we'll today talk of Bangladesh and its friends. And following that, we'll have a open house discussion on Bangladesh. Any questions? Because unless we talk about Bangladesh and Bangladeshis listen to us and we listen to them, Bangladesh will not move ahead, nor will India-Bangladesh relations move ahead. So it's better to talk and understand where we stand with each other rather and sort it out than be in this continuous phase of I wouldn't say conflict, but misunderstanding. Right. Be that as it may, what I'm going to do today is I'll take a detour into certain important things which have happened in terms of reforms which are underway in our defense, in which I played a small part. Right. First and foremost, you look at this picture. This is the signing ceremony where the National Defense College got affiliated with IIT Madras. And of course, you see me in the picture. Now, what is this all about? You have to understand this. The National Defense College is a college where the best Army, Navy, and Air Force officers, civil services officers of all departments. Then about 40 officers from foreign countries come and do this course for 1 year. I also did it long back. And I keep going and talking to them every year. So when they came to me, they said, look, normally when you do the course, you get an MPhil degree. And that MPhil degree is no more valid in India. So they came and they approached IIT Madras. We said, okay, let's look at it differently. And so this is the MOU signed so that officers who attend the National Defense College course get an executive MBA on strategic leadership and public policy from IIT Madras, which is a major step. Why? First, there's an affiliation between a major two top institutes in our country. Second, we're going to have a lot of technology input to officers, and IIT will go and teach them there. IIT, the best of our professors on subjects which are of, we talk of technology, that's going to be taught to all the future leaders of these courses hereafter. So that means every future chief, service head, secretaries, and all who have done this course will be technologically adept. And then they have an alma mater which they can go back to take research forward or technology forward. It's a great achievement. Unseen, chota sa tha, not in the news, but it's huge. I mean, I'm sure many of you will understand this. Right. The next thing which, is this. The 3 days back, the vice chief came to IIT Madras and he had a whole day with us on interacting. He interacted with us. We spoke of AI, armament, unmanned aerial vehicles, and all, and the latest technologies, tomorrow's technologies. Then he had an industry interaction, and then he had an interaction with startups. Very good. And I was also there. In fact, I conducted him around and all that. And so where are we now? So we are on the verge of something good, a lot of clarity. The army is looking at more technology. So when people ask me, sir, are we up on technology? This is my answer. Right? A lot of things are happening. Hopefully by end of the year, we should have definite, roadmap as to how technology is going to come in the army in a institutionalized manner so that it lasts for about 10, 15, 20 years, and then we'll see where it goes. That's the whole aim. So things are happening. And then, of course, I had this great opportunity of, the army keeps conducting workshops on, many of these issues, many contemporary issues. Though this was a conference of field commanders who had come from the LAC. So I had the opportunity of speaking to them. I spoke to them about China's perception of the border problem. Well researched. I had to go into a lot of Chinese websites to get the data, put it in, spoke to them, a lot of questions. It was pretty well received. So sometime next week or so, like I said, I will be speaking to all of you about that. Look forward to more participation in all this. So yeah, so there's this question: how long will it take to implement? I don't know your age, Pawan Kumar, but it will take time. This is not a pat mangni chat that kind of a thing. Chat bya na, wahi na, pat mangni chat bya. So it's not that kind of a thing. This is a long-term reform. Reform जो है ना long-term होता है. So this is one of those long-term thing, and we will the thing. And now look this. Let me ask you. You say how you grade India and innovations. We are there. Don't worry. Okay. Grade से क्या होता है? If you get a rank in your class, you get first rank in your class. It doesn't guarantee success. Success अकल से होता है और implementation से होता है. So things will happen. Don't worry. Right. So now what we'll do is we'll now go into Bangladesh and see what's the whole story in Bangladesh. But before that, before I get into the specifics of the whole story, let me put across a few general things which we need to keep in mind and what's the situation in Bangladesh and things like that. We have to realize, whether it's from people from Bangladesh who are listening to this or whether us, Bangladesh and India are neighbors who can't get away from it. While India might have many neighbors, Bangladesh has only one neighbor. Oh, Myanmar is hardly a neighbor. It's on the hill in that hill tract, Chittagong hill tract. There's hardly anything. So it's all here, 4,000 kilometers. It's the neighbor with the maximum boundary with us. And for them, it's our only thing. So we have to live together. It doesn't matter whether they are Muslim or we are Hindu. It doesn't matter. Because you have to live with each other. So the choice is between people of Bangladesh and the people of India. Whether we want to live in strife or in peace. In my view, we need to live in peace. So that's the first thing we have to understand. We have no choice. Forget who's going to gain from what. वो तो होता रहता है जिंदगी में. But you live in peace. They have to progress, we have to progress. We are not locked with each other. We are interlocked with each other. Okay? Their loss is also our loss. Right? If they think they're going to inflict loss on us, they'll lose even further. And the reason is simple. They're a smaller economy. I've always said in this program, we have to take Bangladesh along. If we don't take Bangladesh along, we are not going to go the way we want to go. We will go, we want this. And then you're going to have 200 million unhappy people there. Is it worth it? Right? As it is, you're going to have 300 unhappy guys. We've always had for 75 years with these Pakistanis. So, इनके साथ तो कुछ आशा है. Let's सुधारो things. So, with that. But having said that, we have to be realistic about what Bangladesh is. So that's what I want to you put across. And Bangladesh also has to be realistic what India is. I mean, it's a two-way thing. So let me put across both sides of the story, right? Right. So we have to, like someone said, I completely agree with him. If you don't take Bangladesh along, China and Turkey will. Yeah, I completely agree and disagree because there is very limited capacity that China and Turkey can come and do in Bangladesh. ये भी मैं बता रहा हूँ. And I'll explain to you why. Right? This notion that if which many Bangladeshis have said, कि भाई देखो हम तो चाइना के साथ चले जाएंगे, पाकिस्तान के साथ चला जाएंगे, टर्की के साथ चला जाएंगे, यूएसए के साथ चले जाएंगे, हम इंडिया को ये नहीं करेंगे। वो तो बेवकूफ की बात है। आपको मैं दिखा दूंगा एक्चुअल दृश्य क्या है, उसके बाद let's see where it goes. Okay, so what's the thing in Bangladesh at this point of time? Everyone speaks now in Bangladesh of a second independence. Well, whether it's a second independence, first independence or not, or it is externally instigated or not, is all dead. You have a situation, there's an interim government which is struggling. Whether it will succeed or not is the issue. There is a situation in Bangladesh where it is not, their economy has collapsed. Will it resume is the issue. There is targeting of Hindus in Bangladesh. Notwithstanding what everyone says, it doesn't happen, it is happening, whether you like it or not. The fact that on 1947 there were 25% Hindus and today only 8% of Hindus are there in Bangladesh speaks for itself. It's a fact. So how do you tackle all this? That's the question. Okay. Then what's happening in Bangladesh right now? There's some element of stabilization, some element. Like ATM cash limits have been taken off. Government manufacturers are trying to start their production, which is stopped. I think it's from today onwards they're supposed to start as per their news, right? But so there is some attempt to get back to normalcy. But there are also certain issues which have happened. You can't run away from it. Run away is all their major institution heads have been washed off. Key appointments have been taken off. Okay. Then there's a denial about what's happening with the minorities and Hindus, especially. It does not come in any newspaper, nothing. So while Bangladeshis feel that there's a lot of noise from Indian media about this plight of Hindus, there is no reassurance from that side equivalent to down this. So their media is for some reason playing it down. But we have to see through this whole story. Okay. And Bangladeshis have to be cognizant of this fact. Right. Okay. Then there is some loose talk of changing the national anthem and changing the flag of Bangladesh. So there's a certain element of revisionism coming into Bangladesh. Okay. Then Professor Yunus, he has given out statements that look, India should treat us on equal footing. We've always treated Bangladesh on equal footing, whether it is Hasina in power for the past 15 years or go back, whether it was Khalida Zia or Ershad. We dealt with it. We've dealt with whichever government is there in power. We've not run away from it. We've not been hostile to it. Though Bangladesh has chosen to be hostile at various points of time. I can tell you this with a lot of confidence. Okay. Right. And then they want us to respect their sovereignty and territorial integrity. All fine. We also we are not interested in going into Bangladesh. And there's some loose talk about, war, that India is preparing to invade Bangladesh and go to war. The last thing India wants is any part of Bangladesh. Be happy with what you have. We'll be happy with what we have. Right? We want good relations. But I said, you can't wish away certain realities. And those sensitivities are India's red lines. If Bangladesh crosses those red lines, there will be repercussions. There will be a cost to pay, whether you like it or not. And what are those red lines? Bangladesh has to choose for itself. Otherwise, India is there to help Bangladesh. And no government in power in India will allow those red lines to be crossed and survive here. So Bangladesh has to be very clear on this, and this is what I would put across to all Bangladeshis who are going to see this program, who listen to it, or who are saying this. That's the thing. Okay, then there is some talk of inviting human rights organizations from UN to oversee a inquiry to be conducted, and then going to be on genocide and then there'll be trials and then all that. Get people to book. But all this is not going to happen. If it happens, it is completely retrograde because Bangladesh will then divert internally to these things and there'll be more problems. As it is, I think Bangladesh has enough problems of internal issues, which I think needs to be resolved. If this talk about conducting inquiries X, Y, Z happens as a part of a make believe kind of a system, that's okay. Garmi hai abhi, after all, 1 month only. It's only 1 month plus. 5th of August, this whole thing happened. We are now in 7th. So, well, certain amount of heat has to come out. Let it come out. But if Bangladesh insists on going this route, it's going to have problems. I mean, whether you like it or not, that's going to be the natural outflow. If Bangladesh says, okay, this is what it is and we should look ahead, then the whole thing is to look ahead. Okay. And one of the things which I would like to put across to anyone who's seeing this program is, where is Bangladesh today? Whatever has happened in Bangladesh is exactly where Sri Lanka was 2 years back and Maldives was about a year back. Have things changed? Yes, they have changed. Maldives, initially India out and all. India out का बीमारी मालदीव से लेके बांग्लादेश में लेके आए हैं सब, है ना? तो अभी तो वो बोल रहे हैं they are looking at a free trade agreement with India. Maldives, complete change in 1 year or less than 1 year. Muizuji, he's back to normal. Things change. The realities of life changes things, changes behavior. Look at Sri Lanka. They're going in for elections now. All parties are our friends now. At one point of time, it was called this party, that party. No, all parties are our friends. I did this show with Ambassador Gurjeet Singh just about 4 days back on 6th. Have a look at it. He explains why and how we have covered all bases in Sri Lanka. So it doesn't matter who the outcome is. And I think that's where we should go with Bangladesh. But for that, the Bangladesh has to conduct its elections and have a government of the people. Today it's an interim government. And in my way of looking at it, so far the interim government is behaving more than the government, elected government. So, and whether we don't know whether this will survive or not. Because the forces which are there within Bangladesh have not asserted themselves fully. Right? And Bangladesh has a history. It's got a history of violent and disordered power transition everywhere, every time. Whether right from the independence in 1971, 1975, when Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was assassinated, then Ziaur Rahman, then you look at others, you either gone into jail or not. Transfer of power in Bangladesh has not been peaceful. So this is not peaceful. So this will run its course. So we have to have patience. So we from India, we have to have the patience that look, Bangladesh is going through a problem. It's going through a problem. Externally instigated, that's a different story. We'll talk of that a little later. It's no point looking over your shoulder now. Now that whole thing is over. If you've got a problem, it's going to take time, but you have to have patience. You have to believe in your own strengths and take the smaller neighbor along. Similarly, Bangladesh also shouldn't be in a hurry. You can't keep demanding, you do this, otherwise I'll do that. So someone in India will say, go do that what you want. And what can you do? You see, that's the next question. What can you do? What can you do to a country like India? I was just listening to the Black Hole. The Black Hole is a program in Pakistan. So the very good episode in that, where they've spoken of the Sri Lanka model. What's happened in Sri Lanka? They're looking at Sri Lanka to adapt it to Pakistan. I think Bangladesh also has to start looking around to adapt those lessons for themselves. But that's a different story. I leave it to Bangladesh to sort themselves out. But what is important is all countries except India in this are in huge debt. people are in trouble. Bangladesh had the best economy 6 months back. Now it's gone. Can it revive itself? People say, look, that economy was all false economy. A lot of people didn't benefit only. But damn it, when that economy was good, everyone was happy. No one said, no, the government should go. So a lot of political motivation is there within Bangladesh where it is. You have to sort it yourself out. Don't blame others for what has happened. In fact, you look at it very dispassionately, that lady, whether she did good or bad or ugly, she brought electricity, water, everything better than what it was earlier. At least she smoothened a lot of things out. Then people say, send her back. How do you send her back? Send it back to interim government. And then you can't say you send her back. No one is ruling India here. In India, no one from my state, no one bothers about what the Prime Minister says. You think someone will bother what Bangladesh says to any Indian government? No one will happen. So let's not have unrealistic expectations from each other. Now, Bangladesh has started choosing new friends. I want to remind Bangladesh, because Bangladesh seems to have, it might be a second liberation, but the memories of the first liberation can't go. 1 minute. Memories of the first liberation can't go. What happened to Bangladesh can't go away. वो तो हिस्ट्री है भाई आपका. आप जो बोलो या ना बोलो वो आपका इतिहास है. वो इतिहास कहीं नहीं जाएगा आपका. अगर आप वो इतिहास भूल जाओगे तो आप खुद गलती कर बैठोगे. आपने आपका फादर ऑफ द नेशन को गिरा दिया, जिसने आपको आजादी दिया है. ये कोई आजादी नहीं है आपका. आजादी तो वो था. मैं आपको 2 मिनट में बता देता हूँ वो आजादी कैसे है या कैसे था. I have lived through that. Because of that, I joined the army. Right? See, look at this. See, fine. Oh, Shahbaz Sharif said, gave everything to Yunus ji, Wawa Kia, Wagara, nice bonhomie. That's okay. But the second one, see, if you look at this BD military on BD OSINT handle, it says Pakistan can bolster Bangladesh defense capabilities through JV in production of UAVs, munitions, warship. It will be good to tap into Pakistan's defense industries for some RT tank ammunition, where it is not possible to manufacture locally and all that. And then you've gone and placed orders for 40,000 rounds. I don't mind, you do what you want. And Pakistan has to realize, not Pakistan, Bangladesh has to realize you have this much money, whether you want it for defense or you want it for development is something which you have to see. And then whom you're defending yourself against India. India has got not a single thing to go and do anything with you people. Let me be very honest. We are not interested in entering Bangladesh. Okay, you can keep arming yourself and wasting money. That's your choice. I'm not going to talk. But what is of my choice? What is my interest? Is this. People coming out and saying Mission India, ye wo. Then you're going to rile people. Then you're asking for trouble. If you ask for trouble, you'll get it. I mean, very simple. You can't come out. Some fool can't come out with this Mission India and all that and say I'll go do well with Pakistan and today I'll sort out India. And then you think that everything is going to be hunky-dory, that India will do everything for you. That we'll talk about. I'll talk to you a little later what India can do or not do. That we'll talk. Okay. But let's remember what Pakistan has to offer to you people. What does Pakistan have except selling you these? Or it will give you ISI. If ISI comes, there will be terror in your country and there will be problems. That country doesn't have food to eat. It is killing their own people. You go to Balochistan and see how many people are killed. And this is not because India has interfered there. That is because from the past 75 years, people are being killed. Today there is strife. Yesterday only I did a thing with General KJ Singh about the fault lines of Pakistan. The fault lines of Pakistan are right from the day it has started. Uska manufacturing defect hai. वो डिफेक्टिव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टेट के साथ आप दोस्ती बनाना चाहते हो, जिसने आपको क्या क्या किया अभी बता देता हूं, आपको याद नहीं है तो ये देखिए, बिकॉज बांग्लादेश इज लूजिंग इट्स मेमोरी। याददाश्त खो रहे हो, जो 71 में हुआ है, आप उसके साथ दोस्ती बनाओ तो फिर देखो, ये देखो हेडलाइन, राइट? What is by the Smithsonian Institute, the genocide that US can't remember, but Bangladesh can't forget. Okay, now you have forgotten this. You want something else, you're remembering something else. Okay, this is a genocide. And how many people were died at that time? Go look into your history and see who killed you. You will see that. Look at that. This is in Guardian. This is not Indian newspapers. We lay like corpses. Then the raping began. 52 years on, Bangladesh rape camp survivors speak out. Abhi tak people are speaking out against what happened then. Okay, and you go and buy. Look, this was the status in 1971 when all people came to India and India gave them shelter. These are forefathers. I mean, people have to remember. ये देखो, ये लॉस एंजलिस टाइम का है। जनरल टिका खान, 87, बुचर ऑफ बांग्लादेश, बुचर ऑफ बंगाल, ये लेफ्ट वाला है, लेड पाकिस्तानी आर्मी। ही वाज नोन एज द बुचर ऑफ बांग्लादेश बिकॉज ही बुचर्ड पीपल। उसका राइट में देखिए, आजकल का नया बुचर है, ही इज नोन एज द बुचर ऑफ बलूचिस्तान, असीम मुनीर। तो उसके साथ दोस्ती बना रहे हो आप लोग, बनाओ। क्या देगा वो आपको? क्या देगा वो? In fact, today in that black hole, they said we need to have trade relations, or way out of this whole story is trade relations with India. ये है उनका। अगर हम नहीं करेंगे वो डूब जाएंगे, और हम नहीं करेंगे उनके साथ, बट आपके साथ करेंगे। बट देयर इज अ कंडीशन टू एवरीथिंग। You have to understand what you speak or not speak. That's the more important thing. Okay, look at this. The second butcher of Bengal, Nyaji. Right? So this is the history. You can't run away from your history. Look at this. Right? The war time forgot. It appears that with time you people also forgotten what's your own history. And what Sheikh Mujibur Rahman achieved for you. And now you उसको जला रहे हो। और कौन करेगा आपके लिए? और कौन किया आपके लिए? Anyway, that's your headache. But you, from a fresh start, you're asking for trouble for yourself. And if you transpose all those ideas, you forget this, we don't want you to be grateful to us. But remember, the only country which helped you in your problem was India. No other country helped you, including USA. USA helped Pakistan and kept quiet when rapes were taking place in your country. It was we who fought for all of you. Don't forget it. We don't want anything for you in return. We could have done a lot at that time, but we got out at the right time. We'll let you. Your sovereignty and territorial integrity we gave back then and have never violated it. That is our history. And what is your history? What is Pakistan's history? And now you want to go back to them? Go. All the best. You're a free country, you're an independent country, but go. But don't talk nonsense against India. ये भी बता रहा हूं, हम दोस्त बनेंगे अगर आप दोस्ती चाहते हो तो। दैट्स द पॉइंट। ठीक है? अच्छा, ये देखिए, US takes 50 years plus to recognize 1971 military genocide in Bangladesh. They have not done so. You think they'll recognize the whatever you call as genocide now? You think so? You think they'll do anything? The same US? We know when we deal with the US, where things are. We know exactly where things are. How much to trust them or not. They are our strategic partners. Okay, but we we trust but verify. So after all, in my way of thinking, they put this puppet in, or a lot of puppets. American puppets are going to come and this thing. They have their own plan. There's no doubt. You call it a revolution, call it an independence. I have no problem with it. I'll be with you in your second independence to help you out of this mess. But रियलिटी भी है ना, एक जियोपॉलिटिकल रियलिटी जो हम देखते हैं, वो आपको कितना मदद करेगा हम भी देखेंगे. After all, this situation was discussed between President Biden and Prime Minister Modi. I don't know what they discussed, but it was discussed. President Biden didn't discuss it with Xi Jinping or that fellow Shahbaz Sharif. So you people have to understand where you are. Okay, I mean, no, this is Pakistan, right? I've told you about USA. What USA has done to you for the past 15 years, it has done zero. Right. Look at this. You guys want to buy tanks from China? Buy, no problems. You want to have a submarine base from China? Go ahead, no problems. You've been doing this for the past 15 years, no problems. You've been balancing China, India, Russia, and USA out, no problems. Good, well done. I think you've done well on that. You increased your garment trade, excellent. But what worries me is today what's happening. I read your newspapers, whether it's the Dhaka Tribune, thing, Daily Star, or others. I'm just giving you two, but I read more. There's a trend. We should go towards China. Go towards China. Go. But before you go towards China, ask Sri Lanka what's happened to them. Ask Maldives what has happened to them. You ask those African countries who are in the debt trap what's happened to them. You ask Pakistan what's happened to them. You want to have that will happen to you if you go to China. You still want to go? Go ahead. I have no problem. But what are the repercussions of this? That is what you need to understand. The repercussions are not debt, pet, and all this nonsense. आपको पानी चाहिए, पानी. और चाइना वाला आपको तरसा रहा है रोज, रोज. And he's already put you on the hook for quite some time. Okay, and I'll just prove it. He's into BRI, lot of projects. Good. I want Bangladesh to prosper. But before you say, forget India, we don't want India, we want Pakistan and China. Pakistan के बारे में कर दिया, आपको बता दिया, right? What you can expect from Pakistan. China के बारे में, let's see what he'll give. Firstly, you are in his debt. Okay? You will not get anything out of whatever he invests in you. And then, this is something which I think people have forgotten. Look at Brahmaputra River. Look at Brahmaputra River. They're building the dam there. Okay, we are having problems at the Big Bend, Madog County, north of the border in Arunachal. And it is now very clearly said that water in this channel will reduce. If water in this channel reduce, what happens to Bangladesh? I'll explain to you. And I'm not going to explain to you as a erigeri. I'll explain to you point by point, so that you people understand. And this is all researched by people. I'm going to put it. Okay. Hey, water is Bangladesh blessing and curse. Right. Bangladesh has to understand that water is prone. I mean, Bangladesh is prone to natural disasters and climate change. Huge risk. It is vulnerable because it is low-lying geography, right? The Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change says with very high confidence that climate change will tend to further entrench poverty. See that report. The IPCC also projects that as many as 27 million Bangladeshi citizens could be at risk from sea level rise due to climate change by 2050. This is happening. If water erosion takes place and if the sea water increases by 1 meter, half of Bangladesh will be underwater. And this is the effect, right? Let's look at this. Let's look at the Brahmaputra basin. That blue thing is the Brahmaputra. That is the first thing, climate change, you are vulnerable. Second, water. Bangladesh, the Brahmaputra water pushes back salinity. Now, from the Bay of Bengal coastline. Now, decrease in Brahmaputra flow directly translates into increase in salinity. As simple as that. ये पानी नहीं जाएगा तो salinity ऊपर आएगा. ये पानी का flow कम होने वाला है because China is building that dam up there. It doesn't affect India that much. It affects you. And you are asking China to come and help you out. And that fellow is not listening to us. Instead of you and I, India and Bangladesh taking a stand against China, you are teaming up with the person and going against India. Go ahead. That fellow will kill you. You will die. We can't do anything then. Okay. The southeast coastline of Bangladesh is protected due to freshwater supply from Brahmaputra. It is the main source of groundwater in Bangladesh. If water flow from in Brahmaputra reduces, your groundwater reduces. If your groundwater reduces, your rice will go down. And if your rice production goes down, your food security will go up. Look at it. Rice is cultivated in the dry season with 80% groundwater. Northwest Bangladesh has already a problem because of reduced flow in Brahmaputra. So, you have a problem. Not mine. China's. China made. Made in China. Okay. Then you need fish. Fish needs fresh water. Right. Then fresh sediment. Your riverine islands will stabilize only if the sediment comes from Brahmaputra. If that doesn't happen, your riverine islands will go. Saltwater intrusion bol diya. So a lot of issues which I've listed out here. And if people vacate the countryside because of incoming water, they'll all come to urban centers for which you don't have infrastructure. You are staring at a major problem. And the major problem is going to be exacerbated by China. And you want him to come and help you. Okay. What are the Chinese promises? This you must read very closely. Understand this. China agreed to share data to reduce potential threat from natural disasters in Bangladesh. This is an agreement between you and China, between Bangladesh and China. Agreed to help Bangladesh dredge its river beds and provide capacity building in this area. This is in March 2015. Bangladesh updated cooperation with China through MOU on data sharing with on Brahmaputra. China agreed to give water flow data from those measuring stations in Tibet once a day over email during the monsoon season from June to November. They also agreed to provide rainfall data. Okay, ये 2015 का MOU है. Although Bangladesh believed that China would begin the data sharing in June 2015, right? As of late 2015, the data sharing has not begun. So you will know where you are going. Understand where Bangladesh is going. Who's your friend? That fellow is not going to give you, and you don't have water, you have nothing. Officially, Beijing assures Dhaka that it has no plans to divert the Brahmaputra. But we know it's going to do that. It is in their policy. It is in their state records. The whole world knows. He's told you he'll not divert. You're happy. वो लूट रहा है आपका देश को. Chinese official also reassure that the dams are for purposes of producing electricity. But what they don't tell you is there's a canal going down to Yunnan. Now, Chinese assertiveness in the South China Sea calls into question all its verbal commitments. Mind you, this analysis is done by a Sri Lankan. Okay, not me. Bangladesh wants China to be more transparent about its long-term intentions. Interestingly, Bangladesh, please do not doubt China's ability to construct storage dams or divert water despite the technical difficulties. You know, and yet you want to go to China. He's your best friend. आपका पैसा भी लूटेगा. You will be in a debt trap. आप पानी के बारे में बात नहीं करोगे, मरोगे. This is the reality. And this is research papers I'm getting extracts from. What have been our responses for you? Let me be very clear about it. Yeah, we cooperate on flood data sharing, forecasting, everything. And all we give it without charge. We share water level, rainfall data, everything. We notify Bangladesh. We have been notifying how much water falls in various areas so that you get lead time. If water falls in a particular area too much and levels rise there, so 3 days later there'll be flood in Bangladesh. You can do everything properly. Now, because of all this, Bangladesh can now forecast floods accurately. Okay, so that you have 3 to 5 days advance notice about what is happening. Then you see the progress in bilateral relations. What has happened? If you keep fixated on Sheikh Hasina, but you'll be there only. You'll never move ahead. This is a country-to-country transaction. It is not Mr. Modi and Sheikh Hasina. They are not. I am not interested in individuals. India and Bangladesh. We've had a maritime boundary issue which has been sorted out. वो तो शांति है. Land boundary accord हो गया है. That's way back in 2015. Okay, we had a lot of trade relations which have increased. You're getting electricity from Indian power plants. If there are problems in that can be negotiated. You got development financing from India. Okay, all this is there. Plus the fact, oil pipeline. You got an oil pipeline going. That pipeline now will get stopped because of this problem. We need to review that. We need to resolve that and take it forward. Unless you don't want it, it's okay. You don't want electricity from Adani, it's okay. Adani will sell it to someone else because we are also power deficient, right? You don't want roads going through Bangladesh. Okay, it connects the northeast, but equally it develops your infrastructure. Now, if everything is positive, only then we can move ahead. Yeah, I do understand. Teesta waters is a problem. But unless there's a positive atmosphere, we can't go there and resolve that also. I'll get resolved. So we have to approach each other in the right geopolitical context and understand what we are talking of. I see a lot of nonsense in this, right? I see a lot of issues about, like for example, let me put it. I say, I'm from Bangladesh. What's the impact of Faraka Baraja and Gojal Duaba in Bangladesh? It is not good. I know it. It's a bone of contention between India and Bangladesh. But will it get better by blaming each other or taking it forward? Right? Now, look at this. Look at this fellow, Robinson. Bangladesh is ready to solve problems with dialogue, but India's role is like big brother, not like a friend. That's the problem. So that's what you made your mind up, big brother. वो तो बड़ा है यार. We are really 20 times your size. You cannot run away from that. We've helped you in everything. You're not going to get anything free of cost. The others are talking very nicely and sweetly to you. But I've told you what China has done. I've shown you what Pakistan has done to you. I've also told you what USA has done. USA has triggered this problem for you chaps, but it will do nothing to help you out. Take it from me in writing. They might force this government to give them space to put their aircraft here, whether it's in Martin's Island or a base in Bangladesh. They'll force you, watch it, and give you nothing. They gave nothing to Pakistan. China has given nothing to Pakistan. So you go to China, you go to Pakistan, and you go to USA, your best friends. And you keep cribbing to India. Oh, you're a big brother. I'm still a brother. Okay, I'm still your big brother only, no? Bhai hai. You can talk to a bhai. Can you talk to those fellows? Right? So, we also have issues with Bangladesh. We can resolve, we can talk properly with each other and take the whole thing forward. I'm glad so many of you are today watching and seeing. I'm being positive. I'm still smiling. I have no problem with Bangladesh. Honestly. People have, told me, egged me. Oh, there's, something happening to Hindus badly. I'm not reacting to that. I didn't react to it in many channels. I said, look, these things happen. When there's an upheaval of this kind, there's a revolution of this kind, there will be people who die. I understand that. But there has to be a reverse movement back to some normalcy. I mean, you think you're right always. Only Bangladesh is right. Others are fools. You can't keep threatening India and saying, we'll do this, we'll do this. I have dealt with officers and men and people of all countries. I still fail to understand the Bangladeshi mindset of distrust and almost hate towards India. I don't know why. Bangladeshis have to understand that what if we wanted to do anything bad to Bangladesh, we had some 50 years to do. We didn't. We didn't rape your people, your fathers and forefathers, your grandparents. We didn't. Pakistan did. We didn't stop your water. We have a problem of Tista and Farakka Barrage. We know that. We have to resolve it. But you go take loan from him, everything, and then he will do nothing for you. Go. So these are the issues which you have to understand. Who's your true friend? With whom can you talk? With whom can you disagree and talk? And then go ahead. There's some news which I saw. Oh, we'll forget about 71 and सुलह कर लेंगे पाकिस्तान के साथ. कर लो पब सुलह भाई. वो क्या देगा आपको? वो क्या है? There's this famous saying, प्रेम चोपड़ा का saying, नंगा क्या निचोड़ेगा क्या? नंगे को क्या निचोड़ोगे? उसके पास तो कुछ है ही नहीं. कंगाल है. The only thing he can give you is ISI and terror. Okay? I have no problem in taking on. Sir, we are building a nuclear plant in Rupur. Good, we'll help you. We want you to progress. Just because you're building we are not against it. Okay? So we are not against what you're doing. Do, but don't show ice. Don't threaten. Don't start behaving as if we are your enemies. Okay? So please understand, we don't want people to come to India. Your people, keep them with you. Be happy. If people come here illegally, you can come legally, you're welcome. Come illegally, you're not welcome.